What's up, guys? How's it going? It's been a long time since I posted a video, which is exactly how I started my video that I posted 2 years ago. Um, when I sort of really thought about seriously starting this channel, I was also setting up a business at the same time, and it turned out to be a lot more challenging and a lot more time consuming, um, physically and mentally. Um, Draining. But we've managed to build the business up over the last 2 years pretty good, and it's allowed me to now have a bit more freedom to do what I want to do instead of spending all my days working, and if not working, stressing about working or drinking to avoid the stress of working. So I've actually come back to Australia. I've been back in Australia for a few months. I think about 2 months now. And I've got 7 more weeks left to go before it's time to um, drift back north again up into Southeast Asia. Um, so I've now put myself in a position, especially with business, that post COVID things have changed so much that you can you have to excuse my voice. I've got a bit of a cold and some allergies going on right now. Um, I can run my business now from anywhere in the world, which is not something that I would ever even considered possible several years ago. Even when I'm in the Philippines, I rarely go into the office because still 80 to 90% of our workforce works from home. A very small percentage work in the office, so it's totally changed. All I need now is a webcam, a microphone, and an internet connection, and I'm good to go. So I've got some pretty exciting stuff coming up. I head in November. I'm heading to Bali for a couple of weeks. I'm actually going to be getting a villa in Bali, and I'm going to be going back to the Philippines over Christmas for the Christmas staff party, sort out a few things over there. Then I'm back to Bali to sort of get settled. Then I'm off to Thailand. Then I'm back to Bali. Then I'm back to Australia. Then I'm back to Bali. Then I'm back to the Philippines. And then I'm off to Japan. And then I'm off to the US. So we've got a pretty exciting 2025 coming up. So I tried to, I plan to get some new video equipment and get my drone up and running to do a few different things. But on my first little adventure, I didn't really get to do it the way that I wanted to. Um, but hopefully, I'm going to get a couple of little adventures before I head north. Show you guys some parts of Australia that you might have never been to if you're an Aussie, or if you're not an Aussie. Not always about food, but certainly moving forward, everything's not everything, but a lot of what I want to do is going to be based around food. So I'm just going to take you on a little journey on this last trip that I took, and explain what we actually did. Yeah, staying up in North Queensland in Mackay, we decided to take a drive west out as far as we could go in our car before it became too desolate and you really needed a four wheel drive. So we headed out to Longreach, which is a 9 hour drive, and then a 2 hour drive to Winton, which is actually where the mother's side of my family comes from, Winton and up in Cloncurry. Then we took a drive out to Crawpole Lookout, which was pretty much as far as you could go in a standard car. And then we head back into Rubyvale to do some gem fossicking. So it was a pretty cool drive going out to Longreach. That was the first stop on our destination. That's as far west as I'd ever been in Australia before, and I can't wait to actually go a lot further. But it was, yeah, really didn't take long before you really felt like you were out in the desert. It took about 9 hours to drive out there, and we had some pretty amazing scenery along the way. Once we got out to Longreach, we were pretty tired. It was a long day, so There really wasn't a lot on that particular night, so we just went and had chicken palmy at the local pub and played trivia. And then the following morning, we still had a couple hour drive out to Winton, so we went to the Stockman's Hall of Fame, which was pretty interesting. We were meant to go onto a working sheep station, but that didn't end up happening. That would have been really cool. But then we had to head north to Winton. So we got out to Winton and just had a bit of a chill afternoon and just relaxed and until the sun came up, and I pulled the old drone out and got a little bit of drone footage. And um, Winton was a place I always wanted to go to because I had a lot of family heritage out there. I just wish we had more time to explore that a little bit. But it's wow, man, you really feel like you're in the middle of nowhere, and you're just surrounded by just thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of hectares of sheep and cattle stations, which was pretty amazing. And it was really nice. And we had a quiet night and wanted to head up west to Crawpaw Lookout in the morning. So 2 hours drive west of Winton was a town called Middleton. It's not really a town; it's just where um, there's no fuel station there. There's just a pub that is it. Two people live at the pub, and there's 43 residents that live within an hour and a half on cattle and sheep stations. Used to be a lot of sheep stations. Now it's predominantly cattle stations, but man, it's pretty surreal out there. And had a really good chat with the caretaker of that pub out there, and yeah, had a sneaky little beer before we headed out to Crawpaw Lookout. We got out to Crawpaw Lookout and got the drone out, and we had to walk up this little bit of a hill to get to this lookout spot. And one thing that you notice out in that part of Australia is the flies, man. Once you stand still, they just literally cover you. It was really difficult to actually spend more than a couple of minutes outside of the car at a time when you had no, um, you basically had nothing to protect yourself with, no fly thing for your face, and we didn't have any bug repellent or any of that sort of stuff. But it was absolutely beautiful out there, and we had an amazing time out there while we drained the batteries on the drone to get a little bit of really nice footage. But it was just yeah, super surreal being out there, and really cool. Just wish we could have gone a little bit further west. We drove back into town and had a pretty good feed and had to be up early for a 5.5 hour drive in the morning. We woke up and drove all the way into back east into the central Queensland Highlands, which is if you go a bit north of there on the way out, it's a place called the Bowen Basin, and it's one of the largest coal deposits in the world, and some of the best coal in the world. But a little bit further south, in the Central Highlands, there is some really good gem fossicking, something we always wanted to do. So we went out there and just got to the pub and had a couple of beers. Got up nice and early and went out and dug around for a couple of hours and picked up some good little sapphires and a couple of little other gems. 166 carats in all, which was pretty good for your first time going out there. One thing that was really odd was um, we actually bought some of the stones back, well, all of the stones back here, and we had a place look at them. And per carat to cut here is about $90, and it just didn't make sense with the quality of sapphires that we got. But we can actually send them over to Thailand, where it's about $4 per carat for getting them getting them cut and polished, and so you can take a little bit lesser quality stuff. So we had an absolute amazing trip out there, and we've actually planned another trip to go back in a couple of weeks. This one, I'm actually going to make sure that I've got all my video equipment ready, and we're going to video that one properly, and hopefully we find that awesome little nugget of sapphire or emerald or whatever it might be, or rubies. Um, Guys, that's it for today. I'm definitely going to start getting back into creating some videos, and stay tuned, and I'll follow up with some more stuff moving forward instead of all this voiceover crap. Laters.